This is day 424 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we are doing Siman Reish Pei Bob, Sif Test to Sif Yud Dalet. Test. And this is, of course, continuing with our difficult issue yesterday about Boker versus Yom and Musaf before Shacharis. Test. So if you remember, two lots of the two hem rosh reish peg down the brachas. Even hold that the tour does not hold like the tesis, and therefore he holds that you're allowed to daven Musaf before Shacharis. Because it's from the Rosh. Why is he not concerned with Taisus who holds that Chakras has preceded Musaf? The Gama Rosh Turkasha on the Russian tour it's also difficult. Okay? Maybe this is indeed what the Gemara means to say. Just like the carbon is in the morning. To the Nesachim are libation in the morning. Even on the Nesachim themselves, it says Boker, can be Chasa Boker Chnisko, again of the morning, and it's libation. Was not concerned to bring that down. So he had said Mincha precedes the Chabite Kohen Gadol, Mitam Ola Mincha, because the first comes the Ola, which includes the which is called Tamid, and adjacent there too is the Mincha, the Nesachim of the Tamid, and then only afterwards comes the Chabit. So opposed the Zevach or Nesachim. So here it tells us the Zevach, the Korban, and the Nesachim libations come first, and the juxtaposed, and therefore the Nesachim come before the Korban Musaf. Maybe you'll say, why do I need this pasuk altogether? Pains a shayla. It's not a question. For menachos should be sifa koydem, which it says in the previous sif. In other words, we need to tell us that menachos have to come right after the korban tamid. So anyway, all this is a question on the rush. Because maybe Zevach and Mincha Zikar teach us that the Menachos and the Tmidim are juxtaposed to each other, as opposed to the Chabitim come later. So therefore, we, in fact, maybe Baboker teaches us Tamid first, the Yom teaches us Musaf is later, and the fact that we need a separate pasuk of Zevach Zachim, that's other reasons, and the whatever reasons the Gemara had, it had, and that should not detract from the reality of by Shachris it says by Boker, and by Musaf it says by Yom. He goes on and says, he has another question on the Rosh. One pasuk comes to tell us that that this is the way to do it l'chatchila, and by Boker and by Yom teaches us that it's b'di'evim akiv as well. It's an impediment even b'di'evim. The Arukh explains why we need two psukim. This is a sheet of the Madani Yontiv. I need two psukim because by psukachim there's a principle that we need shino leva kosel the pasuk that's repeated itself in order for something to be specified as an impediment. But the truth is that this pasuk is not extra at all because it has to do with teaching us about the juxtaposition of the mincha and the mincha and the tamid as opposed to the chabitim, etc. Recent baby says the Rash Kosev Shinim and Taisus Shim Hikim Shal Muslim Shal Shach Yatzakal Shono. The Beis Yosef and a Rash who says the Tosfos, not this Tosfos, said that we were speaking about, says that if you did Muslim or Shachris, you would say. Lama says separate Rash, but they find this Rash below the Chidushov, not the Chidushov, but Chuboitam, Kamer Tesla Mashkin. So they said the Tosfos doesn't see that way. The Zela Shona Tosfos, and he quotes this Tosfos. Tosfos says, this is not the same Tosfos before, the Tosfos on Daf Chavav. The Zman Musabi who Kol Hayoim that Chabam Melachas. Zman Musaf Mekol Yom Ati Oshar Time Musaf is the entire day even from Shachris Shay Karbanos Yechol Achib Me'arach Tamid because you mean the Karbanos immediately after the Karban. See in Cain. Gam Tilas Musaf Yechol Leisbam Me'arach Min Aboker. He goes that Musaf immediately from the morning. Akal Shonah. Kem Shkas Yechol Yechol Me'arach Tamid. Says in Bnei to sacrifice the Musaf immediately after the Tamid. Mimele Gam Atfilah Shemakom Karban Gam Ken Achar Shachas Takos. So it's in a Musaf. She has to be specifically after Shachris. So this Tosfos says, if I cared from what the Beis Yosef said in the name of the Rashi, the name of Tosfos. Zesh Kosin Abuk is Zom Mitzad Azman. That they say you do in the morning means in time of day, not before Shachris. And because in the first coming of Rabbeinu Yonim, he said Shonim. Avol Shu Musafin, but the Karban said Musaf. Zman Kol Yom. It's the time of the entire day. Ela Shi Yesh Latin Vos Yotzi Chila. But Yishdam and Shachris first Akal Shonah. Although that language sounds like B'di'ever would be okay. You have come coming us a rush for a Turkey. Who? This also turn rush this mean. Shemitzman is man caution. In terms of the time of day, it's okay. I'll come look for the Shachris, but nevertheless not before Shachris. Shatur, Omer, Beferush, Mefurash, so it says explicitly came. Shezman to the southern Yanchad Filos Shachris, the time Muslim is many after Shachris, fully. I ain't shum. Rabbi says in Yeshurach, who shas ad marim, lo be zeh b'shulchan aruch. Who saw I guess that the words were weak, meaning that they were not clear. Now bring down Shulchan Aruch. Rabbi Ramah tzrichim in Gadol. Ramah tzrichim in Gadol. I'm not even nomad to make Dash. In Yeshivas Musaf Mikom Tam Mikashim B'Di'evet. We find that the Beis Hamikdash should have brought the Musaf before time it's kosher B'Di'evet, and the garment Tefillah came. So obviously by Tefillah this would be the case as well. But as Shabbat Divrei Rabbi Ramah, then the words of Ramah would be fine. Here Yesh Rayos, then there seems to be proof of this. We hold that the more prevalent, frequent thing happens for the less prevalent, frequent thing. Nevertheless, but nevertheless, if you did the less frequent, less prevalent thing first, kosher b'di'evet, still kosher b'di'evet, k'nemuchaf, v'yizvachim. That's clear by Zohar. Rampek does meet meeting. And Sham. Amnam la'niyus daiti. Niyah dezel b'shari for lo b'tomit. Says that's not true about the Karban. I mean, himself, I know that there should be nothing before Tamid Shachar. Tam Ulomar Ha'olah. The Olah. Ha'olah, Olah Rishona. The first Olah. V'reish Kol Tadiyah, beginning of Tadiyah, and the beginning of Zvachim. It said, Darshina Mikrad, the Milvad, Olah Saboker. We go dash from the pasuk. Besides for the Olah of the morning, everything else comes afterwards. That's why we need two psukim. Ha'olah and Milvad Saboker. Tirtzin said Chad Zrika. One says the Zrika Saddam. The Karban Tamis come first. The Chalato, and the other is that the Hakdara Seimurim of the Karban Tamis has come first. The Septa, the Psachim, Perdown, Shinyan, Shekol, the Kol Kachim, Shekim, and Karban Tamis, Shachar, Psuli. And Shom, we learned that any Karban brought before the Tamis, Shachar, is possible. Say about the test of Psachim and Menachos, what's the Daik the Kosher? They wanted to infer that it is kosher and become kosher in Rabbanan Pasuk. But they wrote still Pasuk in Rabbanan, even it's kosher the Raisa. Can Yon Yirelan use daiti? It seemed to me, says Arukh HaShulchan, the Gam B'Tfilah, she's found Musaf from Shachris lo yotza. The Musaf for Shachris do not yotze, the lo yotzach l'azoi spelachar Shacharis. They'll go back and daven after Shacharis. Musaf again, can you really Ladina? That seems to me according to the strict letter of the law. But it says, well, Maisa, and it comes to practice, I'm not so sure about that. Nobody argues explicitly on the Ramah, and it's simple for the Arukh HaShulchan to come and contradict the Ramah on his own. Mr. Bur brings down the opinion of the Ramah to be the Evan, and the halacha questions whether you can lechatchila daven Musaf immediately after Shachris of a Sikin, or it's best to wait till 6 hours in today, which is the time that Krav is called Musaf. I'm sure nowadays nobody does that. But in any event, I remember many years ago when I was in high school, I just come back from Eretz Yisrael to America, and in 10th grade, and I was in Toronto, and I was davening at the Shivas near Yisrael there, when my uncle, Rabbi Ezra Shachar, was the Mashgiach at the time. Now it's Rosh Shiva in Arukh HaShulchan in the West Coast. And I was late for davening one morning, and I was Rosh Chodesh, and I davened Musaf Shemon Esrei with the Tzibur, and then davened Shachris afterwards. And then I told, because I came for time for Musaf, no time for Shachris. And then I asked Malcolm if I did right, and I remember he was very upset. And he basically said, okay, this time, yeah, it's okay, but don't ever do that again. Next time you die in Shachris for Musaf, and this is clearly this halacha. Obviously, it's the Yevet. We can't argue the Ramah, but the Chatchila certainly you should never daven Musaf before Shachris. Yura, Shanim Mishnah Reish Perek Tfilas HaShachar. Tfilas HaMusafim Kol Yom. That Musaf all day. Yisra Gemara Amar B'Yocham Nikra Poshem Misha'am Machar. But somebody who delays it is called criminal. Batam Nireh Mishum de Rabbi Yehuda Poli Brisa. The reason it seems so Arukh HaShulchan is because Rabbi Yehuda argues in the Brisa. Amar Ad Sheva Shos, he said time Musaf is only until 7 hours. L'chein Avagat L'Chachamim Im L'Chachamim that could be the whole day. Mekom Nevertheless Kem Shol. It says Kamdiva Rabbi Yehuda, you can also fulfill the word Rabbi Yehuda. Lama Lo Yasek. Why should we not do this? Right? Let's Kamdiva Rambam Per Gimel Mitfil Din Hey. And evidence exists for this in the Rambam. Shekasa writes Tfilas HaMusafim Zman Achar Tfilas HaShachar Ad Sheva Shabbos Bayom. He says that the time of Musaf is from after Shachris until 7 hours in the day. Time is follows. So Achar Sheva Shos. A person who davens it after 7 hours, even though he was criminal, Yotzi de Chavos, he fulfills his obligation. Neshizmana Kol Yom, because it's Zman is the entire day. Ad Kan L'Shono. And before it's clear that the Chatchil to Chilmachush is Rabbi Yehuda. That's preferable to take it doing counter words Rabbi Yehuda. Zesh Kos of a Torah Zman Kol Yom, and that which the Torah writes, its time is the entire day. True. Umiyichim it says the primary mitzvah is Ad Sob Sheva Shos, it's until the end of 7 hours. 1 p.m. Eastern, approximately 1 p.m. Standard Time on an equinox day. And it's forbidden to delay it later, preferably. Ayin Shah. Chekas up Rabbeinu Rabbi Yosef. They say as well the same thing. But Silam adds on the Imshach B'Leispad Shavar Kol Zmana. If you've forgotten to daven until the entire time has passed, ain't like Tashlumin. There's no way to make a musaf in the next tefillah. Akal Shalom. They had done the Shai too, sound like other tefillah, Sheshlam Tashlumin B'Tfilas Mucha, which you can make up in the next tefillah. Moshe Salam B'Sim Kuf Ches. Shani's by the time after Shai Sham, the reason for distinction was clarified. It says in brackets, Zenicha Mashevi Harif Diva Rabbi Shimon Levi. And so it says that the Rif brought words of Shimon Levi, Shamar Misval Musaf Sheba Shos Rabbi that somebody davens Musaf after 1 p.m. According to Rabbi Yehuda, Kasav Omer. So the Pasuk says, Nogay Mimoed Asaftim, those people who are late from the time I have collected them up, not in a good way. Ayin Sham. Because Shalom Evi says, why is it bring this out? Bring this down. Rabbi Yehuda. It's not like Rabbi Yehuda. It can be Mashkusam as a shaper. That's why he wrote. It works out well. It's preferable to take into account the shita of Rabbi Yehuda. Mishnah brings down that the Ramach asked, why is it Poshea? Ufi Mashlavnu as a shaper. Basically said that we take Rabbi Yehuda's opinion into account. It works out well. The base, because of our tour, if I should not see base, the Chol Yod Chayv is Paflus Musav Ben Yesh Tibor Be'ir Olo Akalashon. Whether there's a congregation and the city or not, every individual has daven Musaf. Kol meaning Afagav, even though the brachas and daflam the Yishmishav also la loch for the Kshiach Tibor Be'ir. Whereas the congregation in the city is saying davening Musaf, ain't a Chazbal Musaf, the individual is not that Musaf, El Hashat Levado. All the Shech Tzibor ain't Allah King is not the Locha, El Hikachol Tfilos, so it's like all Tfilos. So therefore there's the sound Shema and then the repetition. But Rambam Lo gives that Rambam doesn't mention this. The time of the King of the Shtayim Mishar Tfilos, for some reason it's not different in the other Tfilos, I'm asking why she mentioned it. Time Yesh Menasias Kapayim. Also there's Duchening by Musaf, although we don't do it on Shabbos. Because she's born, even allowed to eat a little bit before Musaf, as we shall see, which is the reason for this, had to make Kiddush before Kiddush on Rosh Hashanah. Nevertheless, people don't eat very much, so therefore, it's not prevalent that people are going to get drunk. They didn't know about Kiddush clubs. Therefore, it's not a minchas, which doesn't have duching, because it's later in the day, because by that time, people may be drunk. Let's say Lekanasias Kapayim, By us, as we mentioned, in Chutzlaretz, I have been recording this in the Hertz where there is duchening every day, but in Chutzlaretz there's no sis kabayim rak v'yontif b'musafim v'sav le'osim b'kuf ches ayin sham, as he explained previously. Gimel kasser rabbeinu b'is yosef b'siv gimel. The mutadom kohen feels the you're allowed to taste before musaf. And achilas peiros means to eat fruit. I feel pass more, even a little bit of bread. I feel tima shesh b'kdei lisod alei, even enough to satisfy the heart. Of a suda, but a true formal meal, asura surin at kalashon. But to be right, the suda asura, the bring proof that a suda is forbidden. I mean, very mechanics because it says in some science, the musaf yeshna siyas kapayim lo shum lo shkel shechos. That because by musaf you can do them because there's no drunkenness yet. Yesh mishacholakar ben rabbi says the medina gam suda mutter. Those are rabbi says that appear strict letter of the law. You can even make a suda at that time. Vatulo uisur kamar, and the tour doesn't mean to forbid a suda at that time. Hashem minhag lechokim musaf suda kavuz. Just say it's not the custom to eat before mincha a formal suda. Shem derech ken. It's not the old-fashioned people. And that's why there's no drunkenness prevalent. Okay, mishu cholosh so somebody who has a weak heart. The question is about musa kohen chilas kvar, and the Talmud daven musa before he eats a meal. He eat a true meal before Musaf and Daman afterwards. Yesh Mishamaksi to Rabbeinu B'Yisosef. Those say B'Yisosef, only small meals permitted. And he is citing a raya leheter. HaShulchan says I have proof leheter. The Israel Chol Kodem Atfila Dashim Bebrachas. The prohibition to eat before davening is learned out from Gorsmi Bosi Shlach Achagavecha. It does me behind your back. When we dash that. After you became arrogant, after this person became arrogant, only then, the accept upon himself the yoke of heaven. Ayin Sham. Malchus Shemayim ain't ela b'shacharis, b'kriyas Shema. When you go to Tefillah, Malchus Shemayim is in shacharis by kriyas Shema, and between Gula and Tefillah, and therefore, once you do that, it's not a problem anymore. So there's no problem of not having the Makam Malchus Shemayim before you eat. Furthermore, if it came in the Klai Spal Chakras, anyway, since you read down Chakras, Lo Shach Marvel So Yishlach, you can't say trust God behind your back. Nevertheless, it's not a minute to eat wisely between Chakras and Musa. Achmishu Cholish from this week, Yachol is smoking Pshitas Ladas and Material. It's simple for him to rely on those who permit it. The Dalit, the Zesh Kaz Achilas Peros. That which he wrote, Achilas Peros Tomo Lavda, but in a Kiddush V'Makom Suda. How can you eat fruits? You have Kiddush V'Makom Suda. So he says, to him it seems that the Shulchan Aruch is not talking about the Mazonos part. Eli Kamar, but it means to say, Abshit Tzorach Lechol K'zayz Manos. You obviously have to eat K'zayz Mazonos. Eli Kamar, but it says like this, Shvashai Lechol Peros HaBei. Mazonos you should diminish. K'zayz. But you can eat a lot of fruit. Or if you pass, you sort of lave, then you can eat a or even bread, if it's in order to spoil your heart, then you can eat more than a beitza. Shabbat says kip beitza. Yeshu Taris, those who answer the kavanah, so we smoke al kos yain. Then that case when the wine, he's going to on the wine. Or she's going to make kiddush, eat fruit, and then dab musaf, and then eat bread. This I near the Zehavi Hefsi. That the Rosh is not happy with because that's an interruption. Lo Mikre, the Makom Suda will not no longer be called Kiddush Makom Suda. So it's clear. We said that there's Mazonos, but it's not mentioned here. Lo Kiddush Chita Shos L'Chod L'Chalev Kachaz Kiddush. Without Kiddush, it's possible that it's also to eat because Avdesha Kiddush devolves upon after Chakras. Shmuel writes, the Rabbi says that his heart is weak and he doesn't have wine or anything else in order to make Kiddush. You can eat fruit nonetheless and other confections made of the 5 species before Musaf, even without Kiddush, but if he's not, does not record it, he should not be lenient. Ma'aser Ravadi Seif allows drinking between, even without Kiddush, between Chakras and Musaf, and I forget the reasoning, maybe it'll come out later, I don't think it's down here, and where Moshe has a shita that you can be Yotzei Kiddush, even though you're not Yotzei Kiddush Makom Suda. And you'll be Yotzei Kiddush Makom Suda later. So according to that, you can make Kiddush and have Peiros before Musaf, and then later on, make Kiddush and Mazonos or bread after Musaf in order to do Kiddush Makom Suda separately.